Hi, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Welcome back to my channel. Happy 2025. I hope your year is off to a great start. We're back to school, back to routine, and just getting adjusted to the new year. So I thought for kind of my first official video of the year, I know I did maybe one or two earlier in January, but I would focus on winter inks. Since I had such a great time doing fall inks, I thought, oh, I'll just bust out my favorite winter inks. And as I was getting all the inks ready, turns out that favorite winter inks is a bit harder than my fall inks because I don't really have any favorite winter inks. I just have a lot of winter inks. So here's the thing. I picked 10 and I have 7 of those 10 currently in pens. And that's kind of why I picked them, is because I thought, okay, well, obviously if I use these inks and they are in pens, it must mean that I like them and they feel wintry. So in no particular order, and with absolutely no scientific judgment of this list, I am just going to show you 10 of my favorite winter inks. What makes them winter for me? Who knows? Maybe I can tell you with each one. So the first one is Colorverse Cat. Now it's a glistening ink. I always call this glistening cat, but the name is just cat because it's a glistening ink. The reason why this feels like a winter ink for me is that it is blue and glistening. Blue is very winter to me, and I think that's just because snow and cold, but January is very blue. Although in the Pacific Northwest, where I am right now, we are not having, it doesn't feel like winter. We've had some really clear, beautiful days. We have not had any cold snaps lately. We might be having one, but compared to like what it sounds like the rest of the country in the Midwest and whatnot is going through with inches and inches of snow, we're kind of not really in winter. It just doesn't feel like winter. So that's another reason why this video was kind of hard, is because it's like, it doesn't even feel like winter. I have this ink in my TWSBI 580 blue. I can't remember. This isn't the Prussian blue. I don't know if this has a different color besides blue. And let's see, this is I think it's a medium nib. So I will say Colorverse Cat. And this ink pretty much lives in this pen. I don't think I have had a different ink in this pen because I just feel like it really works nicely. And I'm about halfway through this bottle, so this might be one I have to refill because it's definitely a family favorite here. The next ink is Diamine Glacier, and this is from one of the Inkvent calendars, I think maybe last year, the year before, I don't know. They did both Glacier and then they did Blizzard, which I always get them confused, so I have to make sure that I'm updating my ink journal and which pens I have inked up, but they are pretty similar in my opinion. But again, this feels like winter because the shimmer in this is ridiculous. I mean, it's pooling just even as I'm doing this little sample. You can see where it's just soaking up. And it just, I don't know. It just feels like winter. So I have Glacier in my Narwhal, is this Voyage or Voyager? I can't remember, I'd have to look. And I can't remember what this color combination is called. I have two of these. One's like a brown green, which is great for fall. And then this one, again, it just kind of feels like winter. Feels cold, the blue. And these narwhal pens, they have a nice cool little ink window. This one has a pretty blue steel nib and accents here in the clip and the finial. So this is, and I think this is a medium nib. I like this pen. The problem with these piston fillers is, especially with these narwhal ones, you twist them to pull the ink up, and sometimes this gets all wonky. I actually had this whole piece break off on my other one. Narwhal was, or Novel, or whatever they're called now. They were really good about, I sent it to them and they fixed it and sent it back to me. But still, it's kind of annoying. Okay, the next ink is from this year's Ink Vent, and this was, I think, probably my favorite. I ended up with like maybe 4 favorites. This one kind of stood out, and it is Mint Twist. I just love this. Now, it's not a blue, but it still feels wintry. It's green, kind of a minty green, obviously, 'cause Mint Twist, and it's got a fantastic amount of shimmer in it. I really, really like this color, and I have it in the absolute best pen. Should have left myself a little more space there. Oh well. And Mint Twist is in my TWSBI 580 green, and this is a stub nib, so it just spits out the ink, and it's fantastic. So this is, it does not do it justice until it dries, and I will hold it up and show you because it's fantastic. The next favorite winter ink that I have in one of my pens it's dedicated to is Diamine Alpine, and I believe this was Ink Vent 2022. I do have a full bottle of this, but I just grabbed the little tiny bottles just for ease for here, but I love it enough that I did get a full bottle. It feels like winter. Again, there is no rhyme or reason to how I picked these inks. There, I'm sure, are many inks that are better suited in people's opinions for winter. This is just my unofficial list. Oh, I skipped that. I should have done that that way. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, this is a favorite of mine, and I will show you why. The pen I have this in is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim. If you have not seen this one particularly, it is called Christmas Pudding. I debated 2 years ago at Christmas time over buying this because I felt like I loved it because it's just kind of weird, like surprise. It's got this kind of caramely brown grip, and then the body is dark brown, and then the cap is green with sparkles. And so I debated because I was like, it's just so weird. I couldn't tell if I liked it or not. And I didn't get really a chance to debate it too much because my husband bought it for me for Christmas and gave it to me before I ended up buying it for myself. And I love it. Absolutely love it. And so Diamine Alpine lives in here because I just love that matchup. And again, it doesn't do it any justice until it gets nice and dry. The next color, again, this is one of my absolute favorites. I have a full bottle of it, but I just grabbed the small one. This is Dusted Truffle, This is another Inkvent one. Anytime you see the little bottles, those are from the Inkvent. And this was one of my absolute favorites from, pretty sure 2023. I could be wrong. It kind of all melds together. It is so pretty. Just really love this. It's just this grayish brown with a silver shimmer. It feels like winter. I don't know why. Maybe it feels like winter because it doesn't feel like spring or summer. I don't know. Is that fair to say? But when I was thinking about, oh, what pens do I have inked up with my, kind of winter themed inks, this was one I grabbed. I have this in my Diplomat Aero Flame. I feel like it is such a great matchup when it dries because it really kind of grabs this brownish gray, and I love it. If you have never worked with a Diplomat before, they're fantastic, and they've got this great, so satisfying. I love it. This is a pretty heavy pen, so I do not take this with me. It just kind of lives on my desk. It's not really one I grab for long writing sessions because it is pretty heavy. I guess I'm going to have to write. Oh, I just did not do the spacing right on this. Okay, we'll just tuck this in here. Truffle. Okay. Yeah, so Dusted Truffle, full bottle, 100% worth it. Lives in this pen. I have not put a different ink in this pen. I think ever since I put Dusted Truffle in it. All right, the next color is Solar Storm. And I promise I have other inks besides the Diamine Inkvents. I have a lot of Diamine inks, and I really do like these. This is Solar Storm. It's a pretty dark purple with some green shimmer in there. No particular reason why it feels like winter other than it's just kind of dark and a little moody. And I just enjoy this ink. I don't have a lot of purples that I use, I guess I should say. And this Solar Storm really makes me happy in my Kaweco AL Sport in the Very Perry from Goldspot. It was a Goldspot exclusive. Now, normally I'm pretty matchy with my inks, and this Solar Storm is obviously much darker, but I just really enjoy it in this pen. So this Kaweco is a broad. It writes so beautifully. I love this pen. Okay, so that's Solar Storm. And once these all dry, I will show them up close because the shimmer is just fantastic in almost all of these. All right, the next ink is Wearing Gull Half Moon with Dimmed Light, which is kind of a mouthful. You can see it's got a lot of shimmer in here. It's a lighter gray, and on my writing sample you'll see I think the swatch will probably end up drying a lot darker than the writing sample, but it's a pretty gray, and it's got a pretty shimmer in it that's kind of bluish silver. And oh my gosh, I did it again without not working on the spacing very well. And it's got this fantastic shimmer. I have this Wearing Gull in my white TWSBI Eco. I've put a few inks in this since I got it, and I just really like to have this Wearing Gull in there. So that is it for the pens I have inked up. And as I was going through the inks, I was like, I can't just leave it at those 7 just because those are the 7 I have inked up. So I have 3 runner-ups or 3 honorable mentions that I don't currently have inked up, but that are still winter feeling. This one is Diamine Winter Miracle, and it's a purple with a shimmer and a sheen. These can kind of get a little tough to open. Oh my gosh, I don't think it's going to open for me, you guys. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, thought I was going to have to put this one away. But you can, if you can see on the lid, I don't want to tip it over, or on the rim there, it's got just like in your face sheen. It's really pretty. I just don't use it that often. I don't know. Sometimes it's like choosing inks. You just kind of stick with your favorites sometimes. And this one is, I mean, it's definitely a really pretty ink. I don't know, maybe I picked it because it's winter. Winter Miracle, right? It's got winter in the name, so it feels like it should be a winter ink. I don't know. Oh, that's a weird looking R. Oh well. Sometimes when I'm writing on camera, it's just like my hand doesn't want to work right. It's like when I'm writing on the whiteboard at school, I misspell words all the time. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I'm a really good speller generally when I'm writing, except when I'm on the whiteboard. And because I'm left-handed, I write, like, it'll go start out straight and then it like goes off into some weird upward line. So I just tell my kids to deal with it. All right, so our next honorable mention is Winter Spice and another Diamine ink. This is a dark brown. It is shimmer and sheen as well. Maybe that's kind of one of the common denominators with all these inks, is that they just have kind of a cool amount of shimmer. But this is a really pretty brown, pretty dark. And it's got, I think, a purple and maybe some green in it, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I don't use this ink often, which is kind of a shame because it is pretty. Maybe I'll do some art with it. We are, for 2025, one of our goals is to get our ink situation organized. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've just got ink everywhere. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm still working on cataloging all of my inks. And so I think it's going to be like one day I just pull them all out and do some organizing. And then maybe make some decisions of, like, maybe some inks need to go with me to school to use for art, and maybe I just need to offload some of these that I don't use. But anyway, this one is super pretty. And you can kind of see here with the Winter Miracle how it's drying, and there's just this cool purple shimmer with a green sheen. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, last one. Oh my gosh, this video is getting so long. I'm sorry. Okay. Jack Frost. I love Jack Frost, and I normally do have Jack Frost in a pen, but I swapped it out for a new ink that I had got in the pen that I normally have Jack Frost in. Like, yeah, we're like halfway through this bottle, and it's just a super pretty shimmer and sheen. It's got like a red sheen to it. And it is just a really nice blue. Okay, so there are 10 of my favorite winter inks that you can completely disagree with, that there is no rhyme or reason to why they are winter inks in my head, but they are. I'm gonna let these dry, and I want to show you something else. As I was getting ready for this video, I looked across the desk and I saw one of my husband's pens that I was like, if this pen does not scream winter, I don't know what is, or what does. This is a Bennu Euphoria, and the model or the color, the scheme is Edelweiss. It is so blingy and it is so winter. I just had to show you this. It's such a beautiful pen. He's got it inked up with a homemade brew of Birmingham Penco Salamander, and then we added Wearingeul silver shoes to it. I can show you really quick. I'll just do a little squiggle over here, and I think this is a broad nib, and it just puts down so much ink, and it's just beautiful. Yeah, so Birmingham Pen Co. Salamander. Oh. And then plus silver shoes. Alright, so we'll let those dry. Let's take a look at these up close. I had to blot Jack Frost up a little bit because I think we would have been here waiting for it to dry until March. So there's Colorverse Cat and Diamine Glacier. Look at that silver shimmer. Mint Twist. Dusted Truffle. Isn't that beautiful? Just that brown with gray. Oh, it's such a winner. Diamine Alpine. Solar Storm is just fantastic. Half Moon with dim light. You can see a lot darker than the writing sample, but that's okay. And then we've got our Winter Miracle, so you can see the sheen is green with blue and purple. It's just a lot going on. And then Winter Spice, which is another super pretty one. And then Jack Frost. And look at, you can see in the writing sample how it's blue and then it's got that reddish purple sheen. Really pretty. And then, well, there's the little extra bonus. The Birmingham Penco Salamander plus the silver shoes. All right, so not an exhaustive list. Let me know what you think. If you've got a favorite winter ink that is either on my list or not, I'd love to hear what your favorites are. And I hope you're having a fantastic winter wherever you are, or I guess summer if you're on the other side of the world. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.